All right, they're still coming in. Just a few of our closest friends are here today, so there's more room on this side.
Fill in down here.
All right, well, good morning. Happy New Year to all of you all. This is a fantastic way to kick off the new year, and I'm so very proud to be here today and honored to be here with you this morning. As you know, the city of Atlanta is preparing to host one of the biggest sports events in the world, the College Football Playoffs National Championship. As we are eager to update everyone on our preparations, we appreciate the role that the media is playing in making sure our residents and our visitors stay informed in the days leading up to Monday and all throughout this event. I want to thank Chief Erica Shields of the Atlanta Police Department, Chief Joe Baker, here's Chief Baker, of the Atlanta Fire Rescue Department, and all of the men and women who are standing here today who put themselves in harm's way each and every day to make sure that they serve and protect us. We have joining us today the Georgia State Patrol, Fulton County Sheriff's Office, the Georgia World Congress Center, and MARTA. The depth and experience of the people in this room today make it abundantly clear that we take public safety in Atlanta very seriously. We are also proud and happy that the city of Atlanta has been entrusted with the opportunity to host this special championship game between our very own Georgia Bulldogs, not that we are biased, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. I want to extend a special welcome to Bill Hancock, Executive Director of the College Football Playoff, who is here with us today. Bill, thank you for joining us. I am confident that we will make Bill and the city of Atlanta and the state of Georgia proud. The city of Atlanta has a long history of staging the biggest events in the world, the biggest sports events in the world, from the Centennial Olympic Games to the Super Bowl, to political conventions and the annual running of the nation's largest 10K, the Peachtree Road Race. For decades, Atlanta's political and business leaders have built on our unsurpassed connectivity to Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport to make our city a major destination for each of these special events. Thanks to our world-class attractions and facilities, the city of Atlanta draws more than 52 million visitors each year. They generate $15 billion in spending, and we know that the events of next week will contribute greatly to that spending in Atlanta. We're very excited about that. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the site of this year's game, is the newest jewel in our downtown crown. Mercedes-Benz Stadium will also host the Super Bowl next year and the NCAA Final Four in 2020. As mayor, I'm proud of the fact that Atlanta is the first city ever to host these three events back-to-back. And there's more too. Mercedes-Benz Stadium will also host Major League Soccer All-Star Game this summer, and we are truly the sports capital of the world. It's taken visionary leadership to attract these events and create jobs that are supported by them. But it also takes the professional abilities of our first responders to make sure everything remains safe and secure. I know from speaking with Chief Shields and Chief Baker that we have a unique collaboration here in Atlanta with our other local, state, and federal partners. Nothing matters more to us than our ability to coordinate a safe, smooth, and secure event for the more than 100,000 people expected in the city over the next few days. Our message to the public is simple. Enjoy the game, enjoy the city, and let us handle the details. And also, if you are an employer, maybe you should consider allowing your employees to telework on Monday, just to help with some of the traffic congestion that I know we are likely to experience. Chief Shields and her colleagues have spent months planning for the security around the game. I know that they have a plan in place that will help ensure a safe experience and a rapid and coordinated response in the event of an incident. Now, Chief Shields and Chief Baker are going to discuss a few specifics of this comprehensive and coordinated effort, and then we'll hear from our partners, and when they are done, we will take any questions that you have. Chief Shields.
Good afternoon. First and foremost, I would like to thank Mayor Bottoms for being here today. I think it's only appropriate that on day 2, the major event in this city is college football. Hopefully we can win for a change. I guess I did say that. I can tell you that the people assembled in this room have been planning literally over a year. We have had so many conversations, scenarios, tabletops, preparing for every possible scenario that we could confront. We have brought law enforcement and first responders from local, state, and federal agencies on board. We are determined to make this a success. But what I cannot emphasize enough is how our success is contingent upon the collaboration and the partnership that we have with these individuals. We are so fortunate in the city of Atlanta, and I don't say that lightly. Internally, the Atlanta Police Department is supported daily by corrections, fire, public works, finance, you name it. It's an incredible team. The local agencies in the metro region have stepped up and given us whatever we have asked for to help meet the demands of this event. And then the state agencies, Georgia State and the GBI, those are our sister agencies. We rely on them weekly. The FBI, the Secret Service, our federal agencies, they take pride in seeing us succeed. And I know that it is this vibe, this collaborative effort that we have created that makes Atlanta unique. And I just want to say to all of you, thank you for being here and thank you for supporting us. But what we need from the media is to get some messaging out more than anything. We need for the public to call 911 immediately if they see anything. Don't worry about it being trivial, or maybe they think, well, I don't want to bother the 911 system. Call 911 and let us check it out. When you go to the venue, have a clear backpack, have a small purse, don't bring a cooler. You're not going to be allowed to take any of those items in. If you're driving to the city, please, please, please do not leave valuables in your vehicle, and do not bring a gun and leave it in your vehicle. We have to. I cannot implore the public enough to please, please execute the highest regard and the greatest level of common sense in this arena. We cannot have folks continuing to bring guns and leaving them in their cars. And lastly, and this is really going to be the issue we really need people to pay attention to, is traffic. If you're planning to calculate travel time based on the distance, what you think you'll need to get to the game in time, you'll probably arrive in time for the halftime show. Literally. I would encourage everyone to explore using MARTA. It is the most sensible, stress-free option. But if you are going to drive, you need to be mindful of, you have the stadium at capacity, you have thousands of people coming to tailgate, you have a presidential motorcade that's going to cause streets to be shut. It's going to take time. If you're planning to drive, I would encourage you to plan to arrive in the early afternoon. Take advantage of the city. It's an incredible city. You have the College Football Hall of Fame, you have the aquarium, you have the Civil Rights Museum, you have a plethora of really good restaurants. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy Atlanta and remove the stress of traffic. But I cannot thank you enough for being here and helping us get that messaging out. Chief Slaughter from the Fire Department, I believe you have a few words.
Thank you, Chief Shields. Good afternoon, everyone. Before I get started, I just want to thank Honorable Mayor Bottoms for her tremendous support of our organization as we plan for this event. And also bring you greetings on behalf of Fire Chief Joel G. Baker, who is standing behind me. Atlanta Fire Rescue Department is an all-hazards emergency response organization. The men and women have worked hard to be prepared to work collaboratively with our public safety partners in law enforcement on the local, state, as well as federal level. Of course, we will be at full staffing throughout the duration of the event with an expanded emergency medical services footprint, which will allow us to not only respond to medical calls that we receive in the designated geographical area of the event, but also routine medical calls that we receive each and every day. In addition, we have reviewed and revised, in some cases, our inclement weather plans in the event that those plans are needed during those days. So, having said all that, I am confident that we are ready. We have been in this space before. So we are looking forward to a safe and enjoyable National College Football Championship game. Before I turn it over to FBI Special Agent in Charge, LaValle, I have one parting thought. Go Dogs.
Good afternoon. The FBI and federal partners, in particular Department of Homeland Security, have an important role to play in this type of event that contributes to the Atlanta Police Department and Atlanta Fire and Rescue multi-layered security and emergency preparedness plan for the College National Championship game. Although there aren't any specific threats against this event, we are actively assessing intelligence that comes in and working closely with our partners to augment their investigative and emergency response capabilities. One example of that collaboration is that at the request of the FBI and the Atlanta Police Department, the FAA has issued modified temporary flight restrictions that prohibit flying aircraft, including unmanned aerial systems, drones, over any college football playoff venue from Saturday morning until Sunday evening. A great deal of planning and preparation has gone into ensuring college football fans have a safe and enjoyable experience at this historic event. But our ability to protect those fans also relies on the support and cooperation of the public. As the chief said, we encourage and ask that everyone be aware of their surroundings while they're in the city and immediately report any suspicious activity, no matter how trivial it may seem to be. We would rather err on the side of finding out it's nothing than not having it be reported and not having an opportunity to look at it. At this time, I'll turn it over to Bill Hancock of the CFP.
Thank you, Agent LaValle. Mayor, chiefs, you look at all these distinguished and unselfish public servants up here. Who doesn't belong here in this group? These people are awesome. It's a unified team, a multi-agency team led by the APD, but also federal and state. We couldn't be happier with the way we've been treated here in this city. We were delighted to announce that the CFP Championship game was coming here, and now we're, 4 days away. We can't wait. I love this place. I love you. I love all of you, everyone up here. You guys are awesome. You've been so great during our planning process. I don't know who's going to win the game Monday night, but I'll tell you this, Atlanta is already a winner. It's been awesome. So thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. We'll take some questions, and just note, too, some of these folks will also be available for one-off interviews afterwards.
Aaron, any questions?
How many law enforcement officers will there be downtown?
Once you let Chief Shields answer that.
No, there's some things that our priority is the safety of all individuals, and so we're going to refrain from commenting on any particular as far as the operation is concerned.
How does the president's attendance affect security for both you all and for the fans?
Well, I think more than anything, where you're going to feel it is the traffic. So again, clear bags are what is allowed in the stadium, small purses. It would have been more impactful had we not already been in partnership with the Secret Service, but the Secret Service has been at the table from day one. So in their words, they were already ready for this. So I think when we heard the president was coming, the only thing that we knew that we were going to have to modify was our traffic plan.
Is using a chopper to get him on the ground an option?
I'm not equipped to comment on that, so I'll defer to my federal partners if they wish to opine. I've seen them jump forward. So.
Chief, I know you said you can't give specifics on like how many personnel you have on file, but just so the public knows, can you talk in general sense, like we've seen before? Will there be undercover as well as uniformed officers? Will there be a visible presence? Can you
Absolutely.
Just give a little bit of that?
So what I can say is that off days are canceled through Tuesday. We're all on 12-hour shifts. It's all hands on deck. We will have undercover individuals out working, and there will be a pronounced police presence.
How do the free concerts affect security with the concerts going on at Centennial and you have the game at Mercedes-Benz? What does that look like?
It's you know what? It's just all a part of all of that was a part of the planning this past year. It wasn't just the game. It really has been the college football playoff event. So this is what we've been planning for. I think the only thing that you could see changing, altering how things occur, is if the weather doesn't allow for the outdoor concert. But other than that, we're ready to roll.
Question for Mr. Hancock. Come forward, please. A year ago,
Who doesn't belong up here?
well, I've been told to talk to you about this as far as the venue is concerned. A year ago, St. James Stadium, you had very, very long lines. You had some folks waiting for up to 90 minutes, and they missed the first quarter, missed the second quarter. At Mercedes-Benz, how many gates will be available for people to come in, and what is your advice about what they need to do to make sure they don't miss the first quarter?
I got 3 words: every gate and 4. Go in gate 4. If you're coming to that stadium, gate 2, there will be a lot of folks coming in gate 2. Gate 3, of some, go to gate 4. That's the way to get in. The stadium is terrific. They've been planning for this just like everyone else in town. I've had lots of dress rehearsals with the Labor Day games and, of course, all the great Falcons games. So the stadium is ready. We did have a little trouble last year in Tampa. It was cold there. But we did have a little trouble getting folks in because they all came to the same gate after school pep rallies ended. So the message for everyone is 4.
Chief Shields, another question there. Statement to the rest of the city in regards to a lot of attention is going to be on the stadium and the concerts and stuff, but I'm a citizen in another part of the city that doesn't really care. Am I still going to receive protection and is the officers still going to be in my neighborhood?
Okay, well, let me say this. I want this event to go well, but I'm judged by crime and how it does, so I do care about other parts of the city. Now, we're keeping staffing. We're keeping staffing levels. That's not changing. And the way that we're able to make that happen is by canceling off days and having mandatory 12-hour shifts, and by all of these partners behind me who are affording us personnel. So yes, absolutely, you'll still see the police presence, and we'll be engaging in routine patrol. And I do not expect that you would notice a change.
How robust is the electronic surveillance component?
So we have a public-private partnership in Atlanta. It's really unique, where we have over 10,000 cameras. The most of them are privately owned, which is a good thing because it means we don't, as the city, absorb the cost. And they all are ingested into our video integration center. We also have what's called license plate readers, which allow us to see vehicles that have been involved in crimes where they're traveling throughout the city. The system is phenomenal. It's operational, highly operational. We've been testing it and checking it hourly, and this has been going on for some time. So, I mean, we're in a good place, yes.
Traffic is a concern, so what is the exact plan to help with that?
Well, as I stated, we really need people to be open to taking MARTA that do not otherwise take MARTA, and we need people to arrive early. Because one of the things that we're not going to be able to disseminate ahead of time is the route that the president travels. So we're not going to be able to say these are the streets that are closed. All we can say is that we know with his arrival there will be street closures. And when you compound the event, rush hour traffic, you have the recipe for gridlock. So we really need people to be forward thinking and forward planning.
With the president being here, are there any plans being made for potential protesters?
Can I just say the mayor's on day 2? Doesn't somebody have a question for the mayor? Please?
You're doing a great job.
Nice. So we're always aware that, this provides a forum for the protesters to get attention. And so what we do is we set up various staging areas, so ideally so that they can have their chance to protest, be in proximity to where the president will drive so that he can or cannot choose to see them. And, we just plan for it accordingly. Our goal with protesters is never one of arrest. It's never one of being heavy-handed. It's one of allowing them to protest, but without disruption to the vehicular pedestrian traffic.
Details on where the protester areas would be?
No, we're still in the process of identifying them, again, to a degree that will go on what road closures we find ourselves facing.
With the president in town, will there be any restrictions on people moving around inside the stadium when he's there?
No, not that I'm aware of. If that is the case, we need to find out sooner than later. How's that? No, but I'm fairly certain there will not be.
Can you give the fans kind of a cutoff time in which you'd be comfortable, the police would be comfortable, and they could comfortably be in and around the venue and avoid super hazards?
No, that's a great question, Morris. I would love to see people at about 4 o'clock here well in advance to just be able to park and go out and go to one of the many restaurants and just have a relaxing evening. That would be fabulous. It also would be ahead of people leaving to head home, the rush hour piece.
Is this all sort of complicated with the fact that you have a lot of people coming from out of town who may not get these messages ahead of time, and you got to sort of...
Well, we're dealing with Alabama, so that was a joke. All right. We're trying to overcome that by we're pushing, Carlos, we're working to push everything out on social media that we possibly can, but certainly it could be. We could be impacted by that, but we're really trying to be strong in our messaging. And I honestly, I don't think we're going to have such an issue with the out-of-towners, because I think many of them will come ahead of time, be in a hotel, or want to get here early. I don't see them. I think it's going to be the locals who are more inclined to try to think that they can get there in time for the kickoff.
Please push people to APD's social media. We're going to push out a lot of stuff on there, guys.
Who can give us just some of the mechanics of the kind of bag, the bag you can carry, what you can carry, what not? Can you do that, Mr. Hancock, or somebody? Can give us the mechanics of...
Lieutenant Woody.
How are you doing, Morris? Thank you. So basically, small clear bags, and there are over 200,000 bags that have been produced, and that will be at all of the hotels and all the different venues that people will be able to get. There you go.
It's my Vanna moment.
Yeah.
Right. Here, Dan, you can be Vanna.
But these bags will be readily available just about anywhere.
I should have done my nails.
Thank you, Jenny. All right. We have any more questions, guys?
Can MARTA speak about their time and their schedule for game night?
Please.
MARTA, we'll be running every day like we do a normal Monday schedule. We will be running 6-minute headways, which means that you should see a train every 6 minutes during the event and prior to the event. And after the event, even though we normally close at 2 o'clock a.m. the next morning, we realize that may be a little tight. So MARTA is committed to staying open to make sure that everyone gets get away from the stadium without being stranded. And so we're ready.
So 24 hours, or is there a cutoff?
Oh no, our normal hours of operation is 4 a.m. until 2 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah, so it'll go continuously. It won't cut off at 2.
It will until we will cut off as soon as the last person is gone. So we won't cut off early, even though we normally would stop at 2. We realize that it may be a tight time frame with the award ceremony after the game, and so we're committed to staying until the last person is gone.
Anybody want to take the last question?
Yeah, Mr. Hancock.
MARTA, can MARTA also speak on your security? Will your security measures be as normal, or are you increasing things because of this? Can you kind of be a little bit on that, please? Okay.
So we have worked collaboratively for probably the last year, as Chief Shields has said, and we are committed to our off days are being canceled. We have our bomb sniffing dogs. We have heightened alert, heightened sense of presence for our officers, and so it'll be covered. Every station will be covered, and we'll have extra officers at the 2 venues. We consider the Dome and Vine City as well. So we'll have our officers there. So you'll see plenty of MARTA presence at around the stadium, and of course at 5 Points.
I got just one more question for Mr. Hancock.
We'll close it out with more.
Okay. This is of great interest to some football fans not involved in this game. You are aware of what's going on with UCF fans right now, who figure that they're undefeated, and they figure that they have been left out of the playoff party. What do you have to say to those UCF fans?
I say to them, you had a great season and a great performance in the bowl game right here in Atlanta, and I appreciate your exuberance.
Thank you, everybody.
Let me hit one more non-football thing, just so everybody's aware that the gates will open to the stadium at 5:30, and if y'all could make sure people are aware of that there will be a tailgate event on International Plaza that is free of charge, goes all day Monday. So there are things in addition to the restaurants and the other things that Chief Shields mentioned. There's a lot to do around the stadium for people. If there is an earlier gate opening necessitated by the visit by the President of the United States, we'll let everybody know. And the other little commercial message is, remember that the vast majority of the tickets are mobile tickets. So fans, if someone sells you a paper ticket, if they try to sell you a paper ticket, don't buy the thing, because it's not going to get you in the game. The tickets are mobile.
Thank you, everybody. Some of these folks will be available for one-on-one interviews. You're welcome to stay in here and file if you need to.